Good morning, everyone. Raymond Mhor, Kilter Prepper. How's everybody doing this morning? So, this week I'm visiting my brother. He's got terminal cancer and everything, and I've been kind of doing a dealing with loss kind of series. But I felt it very important to come in here today and talk about some of the things that are going on into the news. I mean, it's very serious. And so I thought it was very important that I cover some of this stuff while I'm here and kind of deviate from what I've been doing with the dealing with the loss, which is interesting because it's kind of along the same lines as well. But I'm titling this Brics, Bonds, and Inflation Killing the U.S. Hey, Sherry, how you doing? As you know, Brics nations are meeting right now and everything, and to the what would I say, the error possibly of me promoting a Brics currency. Come to find out, they're not even really talking about Brics currency anymore. I thought it was something that was going to be on the table. Obviously, now it isn't, and so that's kind of good news. But on the negative, we are also looking at negative news in regards to what's happening with Brics. What they are focusing on is de-dollarizing, meaning that they are no longer going to be using the dollar and as a common currency or a common trade currency or anything like that. What they are focusing on is how can these nations utilize their own currency to buy, sell, and trade. Just a couple days ago, India just purchased $100 billion, $100 billion, I believe, in oil from China using the rupee. And so this is the strategy that they are doing. Brazil is utilizing the real in purchasing and buying and trading, also again with China. In fact, just came across the newswire today that the real is looking like the saving grace for Argentina. And so instead of Argentina, basically using the hard currency of the dollar, what more and more people are doing right now in Argentina is actually utilizing the real versus the dollar. And so what this means is that as more and more countries refusing to use the dollar, more and more of those dollars are coming back to the U.S., as well as the cash flow is not being used. And so our money is not being used very much anymore, or what their goal at the Brics Nations meeting is to really alienate the U.S. dollar, and they're doing a very good job. And so they're going to be looking at adding more nations to the Brics. And in fact, if Saudi Arabia is truly admitted, which it looks like it is, then that is going to be a massive key player, because so much of the world's oil is brought up by Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia is saying, hey folks, you know what? I'm going to start taking your currency versus the US dollar, and basically coming out, no more US dollars being needed to trade in global trade. And so we're seeing this take place, and it's seriously starting to affect the US dollar. What's happening is that it's also reflecting and causing bonds, bonds to go up in interest, meaning it's costing the US government more and more money in interest payments to actually borrow money and have other countries buy our bonds. And so what's happening, we're looking right now at a 6.5 to 7.5 return rate on US bonds. I mean, you're still seeing some of the fives and everything out there, but it is moving up to 6.5 to 7 in US bonds. So that's a interest rate that the US promises to pay back to when you buy those bonds. Now, it's kind of almost getting into what is called junk bond status. It isn't quite there yet, but these interest rates are continuing to climb because more and more countries are no longer buying US bonds. And in fact, countries are dumping US bonds. because they don't see it as a viable means of protecting their income or protecting their finances. And so what's happening is as more and more bonds are being dumped, that's more and more cash flowing back into the US. And again, it's starting to stagnate. And so since money is not flowing, it's stagnating. And we in America, for a good, successful economic situation, we need to have cash flow. And so that's not taking place right now. And so, hey, Paladin, how you doing, bud? And so with the slowdown of currency taking place, it is causing the T-bills to go up in interest rate. It's costing the U.S. Government more money, and they're having to do that to probably raise even more money. We're getting ready to look at another payback, and already Congress is talking, oh no, we need to up the money. And we just did that, folks. We just gave Biden a freaking increase. And so what, $4 trillion? And it's seeming like that we are already blowing through that already. In interest rates alone, what we are going to be looking at is a $1 trillion just in interest rates coming up here pretty soon. And so this is killing our economy. So Brics is being very successful at killing the U.S. economy by not using the dollar anymore. Interest rates are going up. Housing interest rates, mortgage rates right now are starting to creep up to 8 and 9%. People are no longer able to buy homes, or homes are no longer being sold anymore because people don't want to be paying a 8, 9, plus interest rate on a home when they're sitting on a 3, 4% interest rate and everything. So it's going to cost people even more just to buy a home today. So the home market is starting to seriously slow down. Again, the home market is one of the primary hubs of our economic situation, where if the home market stops, a whole lot of other things stop. And so we're looking at a stagflation taking place and inflation taking place. And then on top of that, the inflation itself is killing people. The cost of goods and services and everything are starting to skyrocket. I'm out here in California right now, and we happened to go into a Safeway yesterday. And I specifically started looking at the cost of food in California. California food costs are outrageous as compared to where I live in Virginia. And I don't know how people are doing it here. I mean, it is staggering to see the cost of what things cost here. Going out to eat, because we don't have a kitchen or anything like that. We're eating at my brother's house and everything. But going out to eat is costing $75, $100 just for one meal. And these aren't fancy restaurants either, folks. These are just normal old everyday restaurants. So again, I don't see how people here in California make it. And so we're seeing these inflationary trends killing the U.S. economy. And so what can we do to help and basically bring income in? What we need to be doing is, again, buying tangible assets. Get these things now while you can still afford them. Get them while their prices are still somewhat low and everything. Start looking at what you can do to become more self-sufficient. And I'm saying self-sufficient in many areas. But one of the things that I wanted to talk to you about here is you guys need to start looking at alternate forms of income. You guys need to start looking at creating some sort of home-based business so that you can bring in more cash flow. And the thing I say about home-based business is because one of the positives is that the U.S. government gives a lot of tax breaks to home-based businesses. And so one of the things that we do, we save every freaking receipt that we do. And even if we're buying pens, pencils, or paper, then we're able to write that off. But the more things that you're able to do with a home-based business, the more tax breaks you get. So I super highly encourage you to really start looking at creating alternate forms of income and start doing this now, because things are going to get far worse. And if you don't have other forms of income, you will go down. You will start going underwater because our buying power is being eroded by the inflation. And again, this is primarily due to Brics, and they're now de-dollarizing, as well as the U.S. government continuing to up that, interest rate on T-bills. And so T-bills are slowly moving into junk bond status. I mean, are they there? Again, not there yet. And again, folks, I'm not some financial planner or an economist or anything like that. I just look at what's going on out there. I pay attention to history. I look at what's happened in the past, and we are repeating what is going on in the past. We are sitting around the 2007, 2008 time frame, and we all know what happened in 2008. Our economy went down big time. And so what we need to do, it is very, very wise of us to create alternate forms of income. Do you think a war is coming between G7 and Brics? An actual war itself, no. But are we going to see an economic war? Yes. We are actually in an economic war already. They have already pulled the trigger, and that's one of the big discussions in Brics taking place right now, is how can they de-dollarize? They are moving away from the dollar. And if, again, all those dollars are going to start coming back to us, more money in our economy causes higher inflation. It causes prices to go up because it devalues our dollar greatly. And so, again, I'm really pushing hard, you guys. You need to start seriously thinking about an alternate form of income. Start creating a side hustle, a side job, a home-based business, whatever you want to call it. You need to start doing things now. And I've been talking last week a lot on how to do these things. And when I get back, I'm going to start doing some classes and stuff. If you are interested in doing a Zoom class, let me know. Comment below and everything. And I'm going to share everything that I've been doing. I've been basically self-employed since 2005. And so I've been making it. Am I rich? No, heavens no, I'm not rich. But I'm able to keep my nose above water. I've always been able to keep my nose above water. I survived 2008 with no problem. I sailed right through that. But it is because I have multiple sources of cash flow coming in. And that's something that I want to teach you guys, is how to do this. Do what I'm doing. I've been successful at it, and it keeps my nose above water. So that's the key, because so many families out there are working their tails off and not getting anywhere. They're seeing their, I'm working like crazy. I'm doing all this. I'm doing all that. I'm working overtime and everything. And they are still suffering. And these are people that are making good incomes. I just watched a video about a nurse who is severely struggling right now. Her and her husband makes decent money and things, yet they are still struggling. And what they used to have and what their money used to buy was pretty good. But they're seeing their dollar value being degraded and unable to really produce and able to purchase. Is Thrive on sale today? Let's see, it is. I believe the Thrive sale is taking place right now. I, again, highly recommend you guys jumping on that sale. Look into that and do that as well. And in fact, that's an excellent alternate form of income that I want to introduce you guys to, because you know what? Great things is people need to eat. And so I'm a big proponent of becoming a Thrive consultant. It is super, super easy to do. And it not only will it help you and your family, not only do they make good income, because your payoff is at least 10% on the sale. When you start making more sales and everything, your income stream rises. And so I'm a big proponent of being a Thrive consultant, because people need to eat. And then also, I'm a big proponent of becoming a Patriot Switch consultant. And it's good things that we do. I've been seeing my income tick up every month since I've been involved with Patriot Switch and everything. So these are cash flow streams that you guys need to look at. And again, I will be glad to teach you these things. And so again, if you are interested, type in the comments below, yeah, I would love to see a Zoom class. And so I'm really considering, once I get back to Virginia and everything and things got settling down a little bit, I'm really looking at doing a Zoom class teaching you guys alternate forms of income and really hitting it hard. And this may even be a series of Zoom classes because there's so much there to cover and things, but I want to help you guys do it, and I want to help you guys bring in these extra incomes so that you're not going under, so that you're not drowning and everything. The key is education. And again, I've been doing this since 2005. Am I rich? Heavens no, not at all. But my nose continues to stay above water. I lived through the 2008, like I said, and so I must be doing something right. So I want to share this information with you. These classes will be free. So it's important to me that you guys are educated, and so that you guys can continue to sail on and not feel the storm as much. Whereas other people out there, they're going to get hit because all they're doing is working their butts off, and then also just continuing to do the overtime and everything like that. And they're starting to discover that that money is not buying as much as it used to. And so really look into that, consider doing that. Comment below if the Zoom class sounds good to you. And when I get back to Virginia, what I'll do is start setting it up. And maybe what we'll do is instead of a Saturday night live, actually do a Zoom class. So I'm really concerned with everything that I've been seeing in the news today. I felt like I had to come in here and talk about it and things, because I haven't really been talking about news or anything like that, because I've been out here visiting with my brother who has terminal cancer and everything. So think about it, talk about it with your spouse and everything, because the stronger that you are with your spouse doing these things, the better. And then we're in it together, folks, and it's my goal to really help our community and grow our community. And do me a favor, like, subscribe, share, ring that little bell if you want to get notified whenever I do go live and everything. Share this channel with other people. Share this video with other people. If you know other people out there that are hurting, that they're in the prepper arena and everything, and they are looking for alternate forms of income and everything, then do me a favor and share this with them. Let them know that what's going on. We are looking at some serious stuff. Brics is actively, very actively, aggressively de-dollarizing. Inflation is, hitting America really hard, but it is my goal to try to do everything I can to help educate y'all. So that's everything for me. Coffee with Ray. So we'll see it. Goodbye, God bless, and kilt on.